Listen up because this one's got it all. Speed, drama, redemption arcs, coaching psychology, and the kind of hidden potential that could make or break the Dallas Cowboys backfield this season. We're talking about Jaden Blue, the rookie running back drafted in the 5th round. And while some fans are already fired up about his quickness and burst, others are raising eyebrows. Why? One word: fumbles. Yeah, that dreaded, franchise-altering, coach-infuriating word that no running back wants attached to his name. And in this case, that one issue might have cost Jaden Blue a shot at being a top 100 pick. But the twist? It also might make him one of the biggest steals in the draft if, and it's a big if, the Cowboys play this one right. So let's break it all down, piece by piece, play by play, fumble by fumble, and unpack what this really means, not just for Blue, but for the Cowboys' entire offensive identity moving forward. First off, let's not play coy here. Jaden Blue is fast. Not just fast in a 40-yard dash way, but twitchy fast. Burst out the corner, make you miss in a closet, lightning in a bottle kind of fast. The kind of fast that made fans sit up when they saw his tape. He cuts like he's been programmed with joystick agility, and the second he plants that foot and accelerates upfield, you can almost hear the defenders muttering, "Oh no," under their breath. The kid has real juice. And for a Cowboys team that's moved on from the Tony Pollard era and needs new spark in the backfield, Blue might just be the most dynamic athlete on the roster at that position. But, and this is where things get spicy, it's that one flaw that turned excitement into hesitation during the draft. Ball security, those 5 fumbles in 2024. They weren't just minor blemishes, they were red sirens. And it's those turnovers that pushed a guy with day 2 athleticism all the way into the 5th round. So the question is, was that drop warranted? Or did 31 other teams let fear cloud their judgment while the Cowboys walked away with a hidden gem? Here's where it gets juicy, because when Cowboys running backs coach Anthony Lynn weighed in on Blue, he didn't sugarcoat it. He acknowledged the problem. He said point blank that Jaden Blue had a fumbling issue early in the season. But, and this is critical, he also said that after those fumbles, Blue didn't put the ball on the ground again. That changes the conversation entirely, because we're not talking about a chronic fumbler. We're talking about a young player who faced a challenge, corrected it, and kept it corrected. That's what coaches dream of. That's development. And it says something deeper about Blue, not just his ability, but his mindset. He took a hit, adjusted, and came back better. If anything, it's proof of coachability. And Lynn isn't just guessing, he's coaching. He's had success with other backs before, and when he says Blue has the tools and the mental makeup to overcome the fumbling concerns, you have to take that seriously. Now let's pivot to some numbers and context, because this is where the analysis starts tipping the scales. Yes, Blue fumbled 5 times in 2024, but he also racked up 14 touchdowns, averaged 5.4 yards per carry. And get this, during that now notorious game against Kentucky, where he fumbled multiple times, the entire Texas Longhorns offense put the ball on the ground 6 times. That's right, 6 fumbles as a team. That's not a Blue problem. That's a program-wide issue. That's sloppy ball handling from top to bottom, and that points directly to coaching negligence, not just a player being reckless. And yet somehow Blue became the scapegoat. He became the headline. But the reality, Texas had a fumbling epidemic that day, and when you zoom out even further, you realize the Longhorns lost 9 fumbles over just 11 games as a team. So if you're going to ding Blue for those numbers, you better ding the entire Texas offense too. It wasn't just him, and when he cleaned up his act, nobody gave him credit. But that's where the Cowboys saw opportunity, because the NFL is a copycat league, but it's also a risk-reward league. The Cowboys saw past the noise. They looked at the core traits, the burst, the vision, the twitch, the open field magic, and they saw a player who, if coached properly, could absolutely torch NFL defenses. That's why this pick wasn't just about filling out the depth chart. It was about gambling on upside. It was about trusting your coaching staff to fix a flaw and unlock the real version of a player. And let me tell you, if they do, we're not just talking about a rotational back. We're talking about a playmaker, a weapon, a guy who flips field position with a single cut and ends up on highlight reels by November. And let's be real, he knows it too. You can see it in how he's working this offseason. He's in the lab, not just running sprints, but focusing on details. Reaction drills, ping-pong ball tracking for hand-eye timing, rep after rep of ball protection work. He's not just training, he's reprogramming. He's addressing the root of the problem, carrying the ball too low in his left hand. He's owning it, not blaming anyone, not ducking the questions. And if you're a coach, that's everything. That tells you this guy wants to be great, that he doesn't just want a roster spot, he wants a role, a real one. Now, here's what I love most about this whole situation. It's not just about what Blue brings individually, it's about how his skill set could reshape this Cowboys offense. Think about it. Mike McCarthy wants to lean into explosive plays. Dak Prescott thrives when defenses are off balance. And a player like Blue, he forces defensive coordinators to account for him, even if he only gets 5 to 10 touches a game. He's not your between-the-tackles bruiser. That's not his lane. But as a change of pace, space-creating, play-breaking back, he could carve out a Pollard-like role and make this offense harder to predict. Imagine him lining up in motion, catching swing passes, or even returning kicks. The Cowboys haven't had a spark plug like this since Tony Pollard first broke out. And that's not hyperbole. It's projection. It's matchup hell for opposing linebackers. And it's the kind of element that separates good teams from dangerous ones. But it all hinges on one thing: trust. The Cowboys have to trust him with touches. And that won't happen unless he proves day after day that the fumbling issue is behind him. Because in the NFL, every possession matters. One fumble in a close game can tilt a season. One turnover in a playoff chase can end a year. And Blue knows that. That's why this isn't just about ability. It's about reliability. If he fumbles once in camp, once in preseason, you better believe the coaching staff is going to pause. Not because they don't believe in his talent, but because the margin for error is razor thin in Dallas right now. This team is in win-now mode. They don't have time for learning curves. And that's what makes this so entertaining. Because every time Jaden Blue touches the ball this summer, it's theater. It's suspense. Will he pop off for 40 yards and make the crowd roar? Or will the ghost of that Kentucky game resurface? It's like watching a tightrope walker with jets on his feet. He's electric, but one wrong move and the whole thing crashes down. That's the balancing act. That's what makes it fun. That's what makes it real. But I'll end it with this. Don't count him out. Don't label him by one flaw. Don't let 1 week of bad tape erase years of potential. Because Jaden Blue isn't just trying to make a roster. He's trying to rewrite his narrative. And if the Cowboys can harness his speed,